My name is Avil Beckford, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about reading 30 books in 30 days. Please don't start hyperventilating. I'm going to give you some context. Now, I've done this exercise, this challenge, 7 times. The last time I did it was in July of this year. The first time I did it was in 2008. And I did it, it was 1 book a day for 30 days. And I wanted to see if I could do it, and I could do it. So what I actually did was read the classics. Now, one of the things I noticed was that a few times when I did it, I didn't have a strong purpose for doing it. I just did it because I could. That will work. But what's more important is when you have a compelling purpose to do something. So when I did it in July, I wanted to have bookish notes to add to my membership site, Art of Learning Leadership Academy. Now, one of the things I do is that I take the bookish notes, I curate them based on a theme, and I have a course. So if you want to get on top of a certain topic, you'll have at least 10 bookish notes in a course. So it's going to be different authors. So you have multiple perspectives and diverse points of view on a topic. I'm going to do this a few more times so that I can quickly get content for the Art of Learning Leadership Academy. Now, some of the times what will happen is that a book may appear like it's good, but when you actually start diving into the content, you realize that, it's okay, not good enough. So some of the 30 books, I will not be adding them to my membership site, Art of Learning Leadership Academy. So it's something for you to think about is, why you want to do this exercise. You could do it for fun, but what would be more compelling is if you have a purpose. Do you want to learn some new skills for next year? Are you going to be speaking at a conference and you want to learn more information? You want to get more information on the topic? So just think about how doing an exercise such as this can help you. And don't be like me, where the first few times I just did it to see if I could. So there are some ground rules where if you're going to be doing 30 books in 30 days, make sure that none of the books are longer than 200 words. So it works best when you're doing nonfiction. One of the things I do, I also teach a workshop about strategic reading. Now, there's this guy called Russell Stover. He did a study decades ago. And one of the things he found is that on the average page of a nonfiction book, only 4 to 11% of the text carries meaning. That's one sentence. There's lots of extraneous information in a book. There's no reason for you to read most nonfiction books cover to cover, okay? Now he's saying that 4 to 11%, of the information on a page carries meaning. The rest is context, and the rest is examples. How much context do you need? How many examples do you need? Sometimes you take up a business book and they're like 30 case studies. Why do you need 30 case studies? 1, 2, 3 would do. So these are some things to keep in mind. So you want to preview the book first to zero in on the information that's relevant to your purpose. And that's important. So usually, not the first time I did it back in 2008 when I was reading the classics, that I was reading a book a day for 30 days. I've done both that and 30 books in 30 days. And I find that reading 30 books in 30 days is a lot easier because there are times when I'm working on a project and I cannot complete the book, even though I'm just reading specific sections because I'm reading in between stuff. So on the weekend, and when I have more time, I can catch up and read a lot more. So think about it. There is a difference between reading a book a day and reading 30 books in a day. Usually, I would spend a lot of time creating the list of books that I'm going to read during those 30 days. And what often happens that when it comes to reading, I'm a free spirit. I may come across other books that, tickle my fancy. So I read those books instead. So the last time I did the 30 books in 30 days was in July of this year. And I decided that I was going to go by instinct, not create a book list. And you know something, it worked out beautifully for me. And one of the things I noticed that I end up reading a lot of books based on specific themes, which was not intentional. So I read quite a few books that will teach you how to take quantum leaps. So let's say, for example, you want to take a quantum leap in your business. So you have to have goals that can 10x your business. I was reading books like 10x is easier than 2x, The Art of Impossible, Hard Goals. There was one about U Square, and all these are about taking quantum leaps, and they come at it from different angles. So I've been I have my goals, and I've been working on the strategies. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to read the 4 disciplines of execution to make sure that I execute the strategy to do the 10x leap. So think about these things. If you're going to be doing this for the first time, make sure that you have your book list. So first, think about why you would want to read 30 books in 30 days. Like I said before, I did that because I wanted to create a lot of content to add to my membership site, Art of Learning Leadership Academy. Now, I take notes while I read. I have a template to create my Bookish notes. So I take the book notes that I create while reading books and drop them in the Bookish note templates, and then I do analysis on it to make my Bookish notes even more valuable. So do you want to become a thought leader? What area do you want to develop your thought leadership in? You can read the books to do that. So you're not just going to pull information from the books you read. You're going to synthesize and analyze the information from the books to come up with something that's unique to you. So you will be pulling information and posting on social media, probably LinkedIn, and to start showing that you're a thought leader in the area that you have chosen. You could do this if you're going to be speaking at a conference next year. Yes, you may know a lot about the topic, but continuous learning is very important. So you want to read more books to get fresh ideas. You want to make the information your own. So you want to read at least 3 to 5 books, preferably 5 books. Looking at the information, some of the authors are going to be saying the same thing. Some are going to be saying different things. So you want to take a stand and make the information your own. Back when Bill Gates was at Microsoft, he had what he called these think weeks. And because he's famous, people were all over it. You always see it in the media. Now, what you don't see, so he would read a lot of material within the week. But what you don't see or what's not mentioned is what happened with the information that he digested. how did he apply that information? So think beyond 30 books in 30 days. After the 30 days, what do you want to be able to do that you cannot do now? That's very important. So for me, it was very clear. In July, when I was reading 30 books in 30 days, my end goal was that I wanted content for my membership site. So I took my book notes and, as I said, and put them into my Bookish notes template. I did some analysis. So it's there for my members. So you want to think along these lines. You're reading all these books. Do you want to write another book? And if you analyze the information from the books you read, or let's say 10 of the 30 books are on a specific topic because you want to write a book about that topic because you have a different spin. So you're not just going to steal people's information. You take your notes, and when you're reviewing your notes, ideas are coming to you, as you reflect on the information. Now, these 10 books on whatever you're interested in, let's say, some of the authors, they're going to be saying the same thing. And some of them, they're going to say something completely different. So what do you believe? It's now time for you to take a stand. Become opinionated based on your experience, based on what you know about the topic, based on your intuition. You decide what you believe, and this is based on those things. So you're going to come up with information that doesn't yet exist. So when you look at your book notes for the 30 books, because you're going to be taking notes as you read, and preferably after you finish a book, you want to review your notes and pick out the big ideas. Some of these books may have models, processes, and techniques. You want to identify those because you want to become knowledgeable on the topic. So if you're reading 10 books about the topic during the 30 books in 30 days, then you want to find ways in which to connect the ideas across the books you read. And that's when the magic happens. So to reiterate, if you decide to do 30 books in 30 days, decide on your reason for doing it. Are you going to be speaking at a conference? Do you want to write a book? Are you going to be giving a presentation at work? So you come up with your purpose. Then you want to create a bibliography. So that is a list of the book, right? You want to whittle them down and come up with the books that you will actually read. You want to preview the book and pick out the information that's relevant to your needs. Remember, some books, they have information that's repeated, extraneous information. You don't want to waste your time on that. You want to pay attention to information that satisfies your needs. And then go read the books and focus on those sections. Then you want to pick out the ideas. You want to make them bigger. So these are some of the things you want to do. For me, because I've done this, I think about 7 times now, and I'm going to do it again. I like I said the last time, I was reading books based on instinct. And I think I'm going to do the same thing the next time I do this, because I have all of the books. I buy ebooks when they're on sale on topics that I'm interested in. So think about it. Do this because it moves you forward, takes you closer to your goal, to have a compelling reason for doing it. And not like me, where I'm doing it for fun. Yes, that's okay. But for me, when I'm now doing it to get content for my membership site, Art of Learning Leadership Academy, that makes more sense because there's a goal after the goal. I can upload the new information so that my members have more bookish notes to go through. So this is what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, reading 30 books in 30 days. It's not as hard as you think. So get over the fear of missing out. You don't have to read those books cover to cover. Zeroing on what is important to you, and that will be enough. Think of the 80-20 rule. You can read 20% of the book and understand 80% of the content, but it's important for you to know which 20% of the book to read. And you do that by previewing the book, having your purpose and aligning those things so that you know exactly which sections to read. Make sure you're choosing books under 200 pages, and it will be easy for you to read 30 books in 30 days. Thank you. That's it for now.